Hello and welcome to another Radley Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea drinking author, with a cup of tea. This is a sort of mash-up and mixture of different things, because I've started mentioning various things and then not got very far with them. So first of all, folks, I have here a Paper Republic notebook. I will mention this briefly because of two things. Here's one. I was asked how my stamping of my logo went. Now, it's a bit difficult to see there because it's all back to front. But if I show you what the rubber stamp looks like, there you go. You can see it's MJ with a dagger. And you can possibly see it's there, MJ with a dagger. Very pleased with the effect. It goes to show that if you want to, you can personalize these things perfectly well. The way I tried it was to soak the leather first. No problem with that. I then put a lot of, well, I put that stamp there, put a lot of weights on top of it, and it had absolutely no impact whatsoever, actually. So in the end, I took it out of my kitchen and went out to my workshop, where I've got a workbench with a very flat-sided vise. It's not a metalworker's vise, it's a carpenter's vise. And it means you've got two parallel-sided plates that are pulled together over a fairly large area. I put it in that, squeezed it up tight and left it in there for about 5 minutes, pulled it out, and I had the perfect stamp. So that was number one. Number two is that you may remember when I got this Paper Republic notebook, Paper Republic were really good. They sent me one of their book type A6 notebooks, which are brilliant. They're made of certainly better than 100 GSM paper. I think it might be 120. I'm not absolutely certain. But if you compare it with a standard A6 notebook, this is one of theirs too, it's significantly fatter, the paper's much thicker, and it's really good. Now, this cheap little notebook I've been using for days and days and days, because I've got this new project, which is to make a sketch every single day. I haven't always used this notebook, but I am succeeding in making a sketch every day. Very few watercolours currently. Little dog running. I'm not going to go through the whole lot. There's just lots of sketches in there. And that was the idea I had for this, was to get a little notebook that would fit in my pocket every day. I could take it with me when I was out walking the dogs. I could keep it with me in the house all the time and just jot down ideas and notes when I had the idea. It's working superbly. They didn't send me their higher quality paper, which is used for watercolouring. They did send me an A5 version, and the paper is stunningly good. But I wanted to have watercolouring paper in this notebook so I could carry it around with me all the time and do a watercolour sketch when I wanted. Well, the paper's now back in stock, so I've just ordered some, and hopefully for the princely sum of £41, I'm going to have 2 new notebooks arriving before too long. So that's good. If you're interested in these things, then get in touch with Paper Republic. They're back in stock. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about was the trials and tribulations of working on YouTube as a creator. What are these massive trials and tribulations? Well, I started off simply with a little shotgun microphone, a microphone that's, it was about 9 inches long, 10 inches long. It was only about 1 inch in diameter, and I could place it on my desk, and I was using my old Sony camera in those days, and it plugged straight into the back of the Sony, and I could talk, and it was directional, and it was really good. It was excellent for quite some time until my son decided it was the ideal tool for him to play games with. And so it disappeared. And it is now his standard device when he's chatting to his friends over the internet. And I haven't seen it since. So I thought I would get sensible. This is a rare thing for me. I thought I'd get sensible. I'd get one of these microphones like you see all these YouTube creators using. This is great. It's a really professional looking and sounding microphone. At the back you've got some adjustment things. You've got a 3-pin which goes into an amplifier, but you can use it with just a USB-C as well. Isn't that wonderful? Bloody heavy. So when I bought this, I had to buy a stand too. I've got a Neewer stand, which doesn't seem to be quite strong enough to hold this, because it'll sit there for a while, and then as I'm talking, I sometimes notice that it does this, which is a bit embarrassing. It's not quite what you expect as a professional YouTube creator. And so I saw all these people getting out these clever little things that were smaller. I saw people with things like this clipped to their jackets and lapels. And all you have to do is you take this, and this will work with anything. So you've got an Apple connection, so it'll fit in the back of my phone, my iPhone. You've got a USB connection, so it'll fit in the back of your Android or my iPad. Falter that's going to fall over then. And this thing receives signals from this thing, and all of a sudden you have an easy life with wonderful sounding vocals on your YouTube videos. I thought, that's brilliant. So I bought it, and it was hugely expensive. It was, I think, £21. And I've used it quite a lot. And to be absolutely frank, it was the worst £21 I've ever spent. Just using my iPhone or iPad gives better sound quality than using that thing. So that is no longer my main device. But being one of those sort of chaps, I'm not satisfied that I'm getting the best out of my iPhone. Now, this started because I tried to record 3 different videos while walking. But sadly, you can't always do the things you planned today because of the sudden appearance of an awful lot of cows. Here's one just coming now. Well, not cows actually, they're bullocks. And there's several videos. I'm going to put one up at the end of this, which just demonstrates the fact that if you record anything at all, especially if it's dogs running around having fun, all you can hear is wind noise. Sometimes me chuckling, but usually it's wind noise, and it is unbearable. It sounds terrible, and there's no way I could put any of those videos up, apart from dogs playing, onto YouTube, because it would just destroy anybody's belief that I had any skill whatsoever. So it started me thinking I needed to buy something that would give me much better sound quality, ideally with a wind muff, or what do you call it, a dead cat, I think they call it in professional microphone terms. And after doing a lot of research, I finally ended up with this DJI. Now you can get lots of different versions of this. I was planning to buy the version that has 2 microphones and everything you want in a neat little box, which holds 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, connections. You can put the microphones in wearing their dead cats and the lid shuts, and as soon as you put them into this box, it recharges them because it's got its own battery system. Brilliant idea for 170 odd pounds. I couldn't justify that. So what I've got in here, in its DJI package, is a very neat arrangement. It has this dinky little tiny receiver. It has this minute little transmitter, which is already wearing its dead cat hat. I've tested this indoors. I will be testing it out of doors as soon as I can. And it comes with a two-way cable. Plug that into your USB socket, and then it has two USB-C outputs. One goes to this clever little arrangement. I've got to show you this because I love this. You take your transmitter, you see, and it's magnetic. Isn't that neat? This just plugs into the back of the receiver, but really brilliant. Now, I have tested this briefly last night using it on my iPad, and it works extremely well. Sound quality was superb once I worked out how to use it. Irritatingly, it doesn't come with any serious instruction manuals. There is an app you can use on your phone which will adjust whether you've got it on stereo and various other things, which I will look at, but it's some of those things that take time to have a look at, so that's going to take a while. But as a package, I must admit, very, very impressed. And this lot was 80 odd pounds, and for that I can't connect it to my iPhone because the standard Apple Lightning connector is another 25 quid. That's arriving today apparently, which means it's going to be just too late for me to use this on the phone to make a video. But never mind. Basically, you're going to be seeing this in use pretty much all the time from now on. It is going to be carried with me so I can make videos whenever I go out and about, which means I can make videos of Dartmoor, on Dartmoor, while painting Dartmoor. That's the objective. May take a while for that to come to fruition because I do have to finish writing this book, editing this book, copy editing this book, proofreading that book, and then editing down another book, because I am just ridiculously busy right now. But as soon as I can, the outdoors painting project will be hitting the streets and a video near you. Why did I pick the DJI? I looked at various different options. One thing I was convinced of was not getting just the cheapest thing again, because yes, it saved money, but it was pointless. I wanted something that would be able to plug through to iPhone and iPad, and ideally my Fuji camera. This will do all three once I've got the Lightning connector. I wanted something that was going to be small and unobtrusive. It is. I wanted something that would not be too expensive. This isn't. I really, really, really wanted the connection with the battery pack in the box. If you haven't seen it, basically you open the lid of the box and you pull out the transmitters and they will turn on immediately. Pull out the receiver, that turns on immediately. Get it all plugged in and fitted where you want, and then you're good to go. And as soon as you take things off and put them back into the box, they're magnetically held in place and they start to charge from the battery in the box immediately. Why would that be useful? Well, every now and again, once a year at least, I'll go over and camp out over Dartmoor with my brother, and it would have been fun. But realistically, could I justify 165 quid because it would be fun once or twice a year? No. At the end of the day, this is the package I actually need for what I'm doing on YouTube. Now, if I suddenly miraculously increase my YouTube viewers to 500,000, I can afford to buy the other one. That'll be great. So let's just start getting the subscriptions in first, and then I can do that then. So it was the overall size of the package, the efficiency of the system, and the ease of use were the things that really got me about this. And it seems to hit all of those buttons. I'm looking forward to later today receiving the plug which will allow it to plug into this iPhone, because that'll make life even more interesting. And that, I think, is about it. I've now got to tidy up and get back to work. Just as a quick update though, I thought I ought to mention this. I've had this for some months now. I don't use it as often as I do this, because this has for me a far better keyboard, and I have to admit I much prefer the screen. That has an e-ink screen like a Kindle. This has a liquid crystal screen. The keys don't have the same travel either, and there's something for me about having a flat across key set of key tops. Doesn't work quite as well for me. But I'll tell you something that really bloody does work well, and that is that this is, it has not been charged for 2 months now. It hasn't been used basically, and it's still 97% of battery. That is astonishing, but it just goes to show that these devices take absolutely no power. It only takes power when you turn it on and start typing. I'm very, very impressed with that. It's the sort of thing you can carry with you every day because it's really quite light. But for me as a professional writer, I'm still going to stick with the old one because it's bigger, it's heavier, but it works much better. The typing's better. I can read it in any situation. I can type on it on my lap or on a table or anywhere else, and it's just a superb device. And that, I think, is about it. Right, I'm now going to go away. I'm going to find a couple of videos of dogs behaving stupidly and then crack on with work. Thanks all for watching. I hope that was interesting. Please do, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, hit the alert bell. Feel free to buy me a coffee if you want to assist towards the fund to buy a box for these. The box itself, if you buy it separately, is 45 quid. That, I think, is usury, but I'm going to try to see if I can save up for one of those boxes at some point, or just get the whole set at another £145, because I won't need the lightning connector for my iPhone again. So, yeah. Even so, that is it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Do please add any comments down the bottom if you've got questions or comments about either Paper Republic or Freeride or DJI microphones, and I'll be delighted to answer them. But for now, I better get back to work. Take care.